Hi folks, this is Ernest Morrow here, coming at you from California. Thanks for those of you who have subscribed to this channel and looking forward to a journey here. I'm filled with an urgency that is new, and I want to share that there's an urgency here. As one teacher says, as Adyashanti says, it's time that we wake up or perish. There's something happening in this world and with our beautiful planet, this mother that has given birth to us all, that is in real urgent need of our awareness, our consciousness. And I don't want to be fear-mongering. I don't want to sound any crazy alarms. I don't know anything for sure. All I can sense is that for all of us on this path of awakening, that there's tremendous support that wants to give us the ability to step forward, to go deeper, to allow our consciousness to get clearer and more transparent to that light of the life that never goes away. And so I welcome you here in that spirit. And what I want to share with you is perhaps a very small but incredibly powerful part of that journey, or it can be, should you choose to embrace it. And that's the difference between these two very small three-letter words in our English language. The first is and the second is but. And those words carry such different energies. And that word and is a sacred mantra. It's a word of power, because what and does is it increases the field of truth. It allows for a container of conscious awareness to grow and grow and grow rather than be limited. And but is an adversarial word. It limits. It poses one thing against another. It creates a duality rather than a unity. And is a word of inclusivity that does not include, and but sets up an either-or dichotomy. It is the karmic signature of the density that we are struggling to transcend. And so I want to give you an example of how this works. And the truth of who we are in any one moment is a truth of and. There's a relative truth that we are all operating with. And yes, of course, the truth, the source of all things is one thing, and it's love. And yet, as we walk through these lives of time and space, we live lives of and. We live lives in which we are still working out in time and space all the ways in which our conditioning, our genetics, our predisposition, our inheritance from the generations that have gone before is playing out in this realm of space and time. And we're on the journey, so many of us, toward integration, and yet we're not fully there yet. And so it's a world of and. It's a world in which this is true and this is true. And it's this word and that allows us to bring our shadows from behind us and put them in front of us in a way that we can hold the whole, that we do not retreat into that shame-filled, painful place in which our deep, unsettling experience, the wonder, the question of whether or not we're okay or we're lovable, poisons our experience of life and is transmitted as suffering to all those beings around us. And is the key, because it allows me to see my shadow. It allows me to say, this part of me is true. So for me, this part of me is true, that I love the earth. And there's this other part. This other part that gets lazy. This other part that is hopeless. This other part that indulges in the ego game, that I am separate from all that is, and allows me to do things or to say things that in hindsight I understand as suffering. And this other part is true. This other part that I just don't know sometimes what to say or what to do. And I have to act on my best feeling, my best intuition in the moment. And sometimes I really do know what is true, and I don't want to act on it. And here's the playing field. And this is applicable to everything from the decisions we make to our relationships. We live in a world of and relationships. I love you, and I really have a hard time showing up in this way. And I can see that the path of wholeness is for us to embrace each other unconditionally, and I don't know how to do that yet. We're just being willing to allow the truth to get bigger, for the room that we are standing in and living in to become edgeless and boundaryless, because we're willing to hold the whole rather than compartmentalize and project only part of what is true for us. Because the but signifies a clash. The but is a adversarial term in which part of me is set up against another part of me. This is true. I love you, but what a different feel than and. I love you, but I can't figure out how to embrace this part of you. And it's like these two things have to struggle to see which one is going to gain the upper hand. But that's not the way that the world wakes up, folks, because we need each other. It's me and you. And it's my shadow and it's your shadow. And it includes all of it. It includes and terrorism and the beautiful work being done by nonviolent resistance. And it includes the rainforest being destroyed. And it's the amazing work of restoration all over the world. And we need to be in relationship with all of it. So I invite you into a world of and. I invite you into a relationships of and. And I invite you to just notice what you're saying, because our speech is so powerful. The vibration that comes out of this energy center literally shapes the reality, our collective understanding. And so I invite you to notice when you say but, and if you might be able to say and 3-letter word by 3-letter word, let's bring the love. Peace.